Okay, there we go. Okay, all right, I think we're set. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Got a thing. Hi, everyone. Hey, Miss Saturday Sanctuary. Yes, we're live, finally. To just, sometimes life happens. You're a little bit later. Well, whew, okay. This week went pretty fast. Hi, everybody. Hello, Epic Movements. Hello, birthday mates. How are you? I met someone today, another, now they're a client, but it was a consult from this morning, and their birthday is August 21 as well. I was like, I'll be damned. I was like, I'm definitely going to take your case just for that reason. Well, anyway, it's not just for that reason alone. But anyway, welcome in everybody. Happy Thursday. Let me push this back a little bit because I think it's not. All right. Y'all can hear me okay? I'm doing well. How about you? Yeah, thank you for asking. Hello, Miss Eniola. Um, I sent you an email, so we should mail it out tomorrow, but I'll let you. Ooh, let me send this to you so that I don't forget. Okay, here we go. I want to send you the tracking information. It would be out tomorrow. So I'm just pulling up an email window so I can remember because I got it. Does anyone do? Okay, perfect. Does anyone do what I do? Like I have so many alarms set because I got reminders and all that. I got my post-it notes, but I have so many alarms set on my phone that it's almost like I have an alarm going off every hour. There's always something, and obviously they're labeled, but there's so many stuff that you just have to set reminders for yourself. Do I have an assistant? Yes, yeah, but it's anyway. That's what it is. Hello, I am Salami. No class. Awesome, awesome. Welcome. We always miss you, but whenever you can, it's always listen. Whenever you can. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. This is Attorney Abisola Adibola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that we handle, we can, and we do represent immigration clients, regardless of the state you live in. In talking of immigration cases, if you are going to be available on June, there is a seminar. I'm trying to see if I can get, let's see. There is a seminar coming up on Saturday, and I am one of the panelists on that seminar. It's Know Your Rights Immigration Seminar. It's going to be June 21st, Saturday, June 21st, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's going to be on Zoom. Let's see if I can share my screen real quick while we get this introduction going. So if you are on, it's on our page, it's on all our platforms. So if you are on Facebook and YouTube, here it is on our screen. So it's called the Know Your Rights Immigration Seminar, empowering our community with legal knowledge and faith-led advocacy. So this is going to be, we've got really, really knowledgeable immigration attorneys on the panel. You'll be able to discuss from family to employment, everything in between, knowing your rights, removal of proceedings, transitioning from students, being a student to employment based or whatever the case may be. So you just go on our page. You will be able to just scan the QR code and join in on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will be 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Any other time zone, I don't know. Got to figure it out. I don't know, but there it is. But so it will be something for, if you have the time to join in, it will be something to attend and come learn more about immigration or ask questions from, a group of immigration attorneys, diverse immigration attorneys, so that, because there's so many, there's just a whole lot going on it's good to be informed with everything that's going on in the country. But anyway, but if you need to contact our office, our number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 is our email address. But I tell you, today was so busy. Like and congratulations to my ever trusted I'm tired, can you tell? Ashanti, my legal assistant, she is 1 year with the LA law firm. Law firm. I'm laughing because TJ says that's the first person you haven't fired. That is first assistant has made it to a year. Ignore TJ. He doesn't. Father, forgive him, for he knows not what he's saying. But is he right? I plead the fifth. But anyway, congrats to Ashanti. Very, very. I mean, she gets me. And I think God gave me somebody who gets me finally. But anyway, we'll be glad to represent you in your immigration case. Just contact us. WhatsApp, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Immigration. We do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is just for messages, but you can text us. Lydia handles our WhatsApp messages for us, but you can call us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Alabama Central Standard Time. We'll be more than happy to help you out. So we are, and congratulations to Mr. A, I think we said that, and then Miss O, whose green card got approved today. Well, there's a lot going on. Yes, if you pay attention to all updates, especially with USCIS, and you think they left adjudication and of applications and then just doing ICE work. But they are still approving cases. They're still doing what they're supposed to be doing. God is still in the business of giving us good news. So keep filing your applications. Don't let that, all that's going on around us be a deterrent to you filing what you have to file that you qualify for. But this is the time, and I mean, there's some cases that are pretty much straightforward. But most of the time, if you are in doubt for any reason, then get yourself an attorney. This is especially if you've got an immigration case in court. With the way that ICE is just, they're all over immigration courts working. And this is not, he said, she said. They are actually working with DHS attorneys trying to compel or to encourage them to get cases dismissed by the immigration judges. And for those cases where someone has been in the country for less than 2 years, or they lose their asylum case, or they were paroled and it was terminated. So they're trying to get as many people, because they're trying to set a record for as many people to get into removal, as well as expedited removal. Expedited removal right now, as we know it right now, basically is the best way to describe expedited removal is bypassing the legal process in court and allowing an immigration officer to deport an immigrant. So that's basically what the expedited removal is. Whether or not someone is going to be subject to that depends on your specific facts. So that's where an attorney comes into play. So, but anyway, contact us if you need help. We would be glad to represent you. We are doing questions. So I was away last week, so we're just trying to catch up with everything. So we're going to do questions tonight. So get answers to your many questions. Let us get answers to your many questions. So if you have, so put your questions in the comment section. I will go through all the platforms and answer as many as we can possibly do. We've got quite a bit of time right now. So put your questions in the comment section. I'll go through the questions and I would answer. Now, responses to questions are general in nature, nothing specific to anyone's case. If you're looking for something that's going to be specific to your case, that's where consultation comes into play. And so you're not going to say, can I travel? Anything about travel, you're going to direct that question to your attorney, or schedule a consultation so that someone can actually evaluate your case. Traveling at this time is not a case of, well, yes and no. No, that's not what it is right now. Even if you've got a green card. So just to be on the safe side, it's best to consult with the lawyer on your case who knows your case. Or if you do not have a lawyer, then sit down with one to evaluate your background, so there's nothing that's going to become a concern or posing a problem for you when you're trying to come back in the country. All right. So let's get started. Put your questions in the comment section, and I will go through them. Newbie, hi. Hello, Pastor Isaac. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you, Miss Anderson. My palm is just it's like zapping. I don't know why. How are you, Neil? In anything that happens in as an African, it has to be the enemies. But I'm not sure why it's zapping, but that's odd. But anyway, okay. So let's get started. How can people qualify for a T visa? Sit down with a lawyer to figure out if you are eligible for a T visa, or you can go on USCI's website to see what the basic eligibility is. I recently got a moving violation while driving, and I have decided to go to court so as not to get points on my license. Will it affect or reflect on my VAWA case that is pending? So I can't speak to your VAWA case that is pending. So general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. The responses to questions are just general in nature. So no, it's not going to be that way. This is just a response. Do with it what you wish. It's not legal advice for your case. So just to be clear on that. However, generally, moving violations generally do not affect, because they're treated as traffic violations unless you have accumulated other things. Say, for instance, just to give an example, someone has multiple moving violations or multiple about citations about not driving without insurance, things like that can now become an issue as far as your good moral character. So that's where it may affect, a pending VAWA case. But if it's just one moving violation, that should generally not, I don't know anything about your case, but that should not be something that will affect or have a negative impact on your pending VAWA case. Generally. So that's as best that I can answer that question. All right, let's go to TikTok. Hi, TikTok family. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Happy Freedom Day. Thank God for those who sacrificed so that we brown skinned people can be here and be free. And we're grateful. And with, it took a while for them to even make Juneteenth a holiday. I digress. Let's just leave that alone. But happy Juneteenth, everybody. Okay, let's see. You cannot hear TJ because my door is closed today. Well, no, the door is closed today, but I told her, like, if I hear, how African parents like, Timagbo, me. Was like, if I hear me, you would hear. What's the response? If I hear me, you would hear something. My mom used to say that. Timagbo, anyway. Like, now I'm thinking back, what does that even mean? What is me? What's that? What what is that? Like, if I hear a sound, I guess that's what it means. So that's why I told him, like, he was looking at him like, what does that even mean? Don't worry, you'll find out what it means. Let me hear anything. So, knock on wood. We're quiet right now. Okay, let's see. That name is from Ghana. What name? Does that mean something? I think I spoke too early. Oh, Ashanti. Okay. Oh, it is? Well, I know Africans go by that name, but Ashanti is African American. But listen, our Ashanti, as she's a pro, she has learned so many African and Caribbean names that sometimes she says something like, "Look at you go, girl! Like, did you go to Nigeria overnight that I didn't know?" So I always tell her she's an honorary African. So I should ask her mother. Her mother is my friend. I should ask her Why did she name her that? Maybe you never know. I mean, hello, Miss Yabo. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. Tisinoi Eku Ishe. Tak. What does that mean? Y'all have to help me with this, like Yoruba things. Tak. What does that mean? Like serious job? Is that what it means? I'm guessing that's what it means. Yes, no? Okay. You're welcome. All right, so let's go. Please put your. Okay, that's what it means. Okay. See, I'm gonna try. Um, put your questions up now. Emani, Cecilia, you didn't answer my question. It's now. Now let's get the questions answered. Let me put this here. Give me 1 second. Okay, because I don't want to block that. All right. Yes, hello, Miss Sophia. How are you? Now, what's that? A constitutional unit. Okay, no problem. We'll be looking forward to that. Hello, Miss Jimmy. Good evening. How are you? Let's see. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Miss Daniela. God alone be praised. Hello, Miss Lagunbiadi. I want to ask you if you do pre-evaluation for your cases to get the pre-evaluation is the consultation. So that's what the consultation is for. There's no pre-evaluation. The evaluation is the consultation to decide if it's a case we're going to take or if you have so if there is a strategy in your case. Hello, Mr. Yufeso, how are you? Let's see. Can you kindly take us through the VAWA process? What do you get? Work permit, travel permit, and prima facie. I'm not sure what you mean by take us through the VAWA process. But I guess in a nutshell, maybe from when you file a full-blown VAWA case, what to expect, and if you're going to get a work permit or what you need to file in order to get a work permit and all that. So you file a 9-3. So one of the things that we do in my firm is when you hire our services, depending on the case type, but for let me say 95% of cases, because there's some cases that is just a matter of notifying USCIS on your behalf, and there's nothing else. But in full-blown representation, where it's going to take a while. You get what we call a summary of representation or case expectation. It's part of what our clients get, and that is basically a summary. It's usually in your folder when you become a client, where we explain what to expect during the representation. So if your case is a VAWA case, which we have one for a VAWA case, so we'll tell you, when we file your case. So you file your VAWA case, you get receipt notices within. We're seeing a very lengthy delay in getting receipt notices for VAWA cases. So we're still getting receipt notices for cases we filed in February. That's 4 months. It's really backlogged. We're starting to see some trickling from March. But so if you are still waiting on your receipt notices, that's what's going on. You didn't do anything wrong as long as you submitted you filed your case properly. So what we've not had to update in the summary summary of representation in our cases for VAWA cases, let people know that hey, we may not get receipt notices up till about 12 to 16 weeks after we file. And so when you file, you get your receipt notices. USCI sends that. And if you file an I-485, you get that as well. If you file an I-765, you get receipt notices for everything you file with the VAWA petition. And then if you have, most people that file VAWA cases have already filed a regular marriage case before. And if that's the case, most of the time, USCIS may not schedule you for yet another biometrics appointment. They may just decide to reuse your prints from your previous case. Sometimes they will reschedule you and get you in for a new biometrics appointment. So that's usually what will come shortly after you get your VAWA receipt notices. If you filed, and so you get that done, and if you filed an I-485 and you filed the correct category for your work permit, which has to be a C9 category work permit, then you get your work permit. If you filed an advanced parole, you get that approved within the first 4 months to about 9 months after you file. Within the first between 2 months and 6 months, you should get your prima facie determination. I usually wait until about month 6 or 7. And if we haven't received the prima facie determination in the case, then I email them, and I keep emailing them until they tell me to stop emailing, because they've told me that several times. I try to respect myself with this new administration so they don't take that out on my clients. But that's within 2 to 6 months, you should get your prima facie determination, which you can use to apply for government, meaning federal and or state benefits, while your VAWA case is pending, because the prima facie determination basically has determined that you are what we call a qualified alien that is eligible for those benefits. And after that, it's going to be a waiting game. So when you consult with me and you're eligible for VAWA, one of the things we let you know from the beginning is you have to have the patience of a saint. If you're not going to be patient and you're not ready to do a VAWA case, just go ahead and be done and maybe remarry. I'm not saying remarry for green, but if you have to wait. To put things in perspective, USCIS is working primarily in cases that were filed in 2021. So calculate that. It's a lengthy process. VAWA gives you your own independence. It gives you your freedom. It keeps you away from abuse. You're not being manipulated. No one is you're holding you hostage in your own home or your own because of immigration status. But it is very, very lengthy. It's tasking. You're going to lose your patience. You just have to be, and you cannot remarry throughout the whole process. So someone had a consultation yesterday, and unfortunately, I had to break the news to them that because the case was denied, and based on the fact that even though they qualified for everything, but they were not, well, they claimed they didn't know. They got remarried after they got remarried. And I think along the line, they found out that they were not supposed to get remarried. And then they divorced that new spouse that they got married to. But in spite of the divorce from that new spouse, USCIS denied the VAWA petition based on the fact that they had remarried, and so that disqualified them. And so that's another thing to be aware of, that you cannot remarry while your VAWA case is pending. When the VAWA petition has been approved, so between the time your VAWA petition is approved and waiting for your green card application, between that window, you can remarry, meaning your I-360 has been approved, but the green card application is still pending. You can remarry. I always tell my clients there's no hurry. There's whatever partner. There's no one chasing you to go get married. If you're waited for 3-4 years, you can wait a little bit longer to get the green card and be done. But however, if you remarry after the VAWA petition, the I-360 is approved, but the green card is still pending, that does not nullify your case. So waiting is going to be a virtue you're going to have to learn. And so after that, your green card, your VAWA petition gets approved. USCIS sends your Vermont Service Center sends your case transfers your case after approval to the National Benefit Center. They decide if you're going to be scheduled for an interview, or they're just going to ask you for your medicals if you haven't submitted that. If you're going to be scheduled for an interview, they forward your case to your field office to schedule an interview. If you're not going to be scheduled for an interview, they approve your green card at the National Benefit Center, and that's the end of the VAWA case. So that's that in a nutshell, but obviously it's a much lengthy process, but that's that in a nutshell. Okay, so I hope that helps. The only place where you can get most information about immigration for free. Follow on our platforms to get more immigration news. Thank you. I think I'm giving free, and then people are still going to call our office like, why doesn't she do pre-consultation? What the heck is pre-consultation? Help me out. What are you trying to achieve? If I do pre-consultation, what is the point of the consultation? But anyway, can someone still be able to secure a green card despite his B1B2 revoked whilst already here in the U.S.? So a revocation, general information, a revocation of your visa by the Department of State is not a revocation of your status. The visa allows you to come in. That's what allows you to cross into the United States. Your I-94 or the status you come in with or you change to is what authorizes you to stay and remain in the United States. So the fact that your B1, B2 was revoked does not mean that your status you're no longer in that status unless USCIS, because USCIS controls when you are here. Now, let me say this on that. However, if you get a revocation email, the way it may affect you being able to get a green card, meaning, for instance, you get married, you file, the I-130 is approved, they have to consider your immigration record to make sure that you are admissible, you're not inadmissible. There's nothing in your record that's going to, I think I spoke too soon. Yeah. That's going to prevent them from, so the way that revocation can now become an issue with your green card process is if the revocation has anything to do with misrepresentation or them finding out that you submitted fraudulent documents, any kind of reason that will be grounds for inadmissibility. So say for instance, if they found out that you claimed that you were married to someone, but you were not actually married to the person, or the person now has not claimed that they were never married to you, something in your record just doesn't add up, that could be a basis for them to send your notification of revocation. And when you not apply for adjustment of status, that may be a ground for them to find you inadmissible based on misrepresentation while you're applied for your non-immigrant visa. So I hope that helps. Is it true that USCIS doesn't issue Social Security now that the applicant has to apply with the work authorization? USCIS has never been the one to issue Social Security cards to start with, Ms. Sophia. What they've done, and which is still part of the form when you file an I-765, is they ask you, okay, so if we approve your case, do you want us to notify the Social Security Administration to issue your Social Security number or card? You check yes. But with this new administration, remember they're trying to do everything to make it hard for immigrants. They've stopped notifying the Social Security office. Actually, I think that department has been on pause, where normally sometimes even up until January, we would get Social Security cards even before we even get the work authorization card. But now I cannot remember the last time. Okay, the last time we got a Social Security card was Mrs. I's green card last week, which was a miracle. They sent, because whenever you get your green card, they send you an updated. It's supposed to send you an updated, because it's part of the I-485 application as well. The question is that it's supposed to send you an updated Social Security card. And then, and another thing, don't forget, when you become a citizen, you're also required to go to the Social Security office to update your Social Security information. Your number doesn't change, but they have to update your status. But to your question, Ms. Sophia, so USCIS is not the one that issues Social Security. What they've stopped doing is they've stopped notifying the Social Security office that they've approved your work permit. And so they've stopped the communication. So now when you get your work permit, you now have to go to your Social Security office and apply for your Social Security card. That's what we're seeing. But it doesn't matter. It would take it at a time. Let them come up with all kinds of stuff. We keep moving. Can I file for my citizenship with my extension letter of the green card paper? Yes, generally, yes, as long as you've qualified based on 3 years, based on 5 years. And if you join the military, then you don't even have to wait for your 751 to be approved. Is it advisable for green card holders to travel out of the country in this administration? Anything about travel? Like I said, that's not something I answered. That's something you sit down with someone your specific. So nothing is saying green card holders cannot travel. Let me be clear on that. That's very generic. There's very generic. There's nothing that stops a green card holder from being able to come back in. However, they are assessing each person's case or each person's entry on a case-by-case basis. So if you know there's anything in your, for instance, I have a lady who consulted with me yesterday. She has a lawyer. Her lawyer told her not to travel, but she just wanted a second opinion. So we had a consultation yesterday, and that was regarding she wants to travel home to visit her mom. Her mom's not feeling well, but she recently had a criminal case and was recently disposed of. However, her criminal case, she had, even though it was dismissed after she had she had complied with some conditions, paid restitution, and then after a certain period of time, they dismissed the case. The issue with and so being able to now, and that's why I said that travel has MTV05. Hello, how are you enjoying life as a green card holder? So when I say about traveling, consult with someone so they can actually assess your specific situation. And so she was not aware that in spite of a dismissal of the criminal case, it doesn't mean that it's still not a conviction for immigration purposes. So because your case was dismissed does not mean it's not a conviction, because even with a dismissal, if you had, like, for instance, in Alabama, I do criminal defense. I'm everywhere. I'm not calling what job. That's what my mom would say. Immigration is, the main thing, but you got to extend and diversify your. So I do criminal defense. I work for the state of Alabama as do private retainer and also appointed work. So we have what we call pre-trial diversion, right? We have quite a number of pre-trial programs. So we've got pre-trial diversion, we've got mental health court, we've got drug court, we've got deferred prosecution. All of those, even though the goal at the end of it is you to get the case dismissed, but some of those cases will require that my client pays some form of restitution. You're paying court costs, restitution to the victim, or you're doing some community service, and then you start. In spite of not entering a guilty plea, because restitution is a form of punishment, for immigration purposes, it is considered a conviction. And under this administration, if they have something like that, that could be a basis for them to say we're referring that person to immigration court because the person has a criminal record. And it may not necessarily be a crime involving moral turpitude or aggravated felony. It may just be something that has to do with good moral character, and for them, because anything goes with them now. So I'm taking time to explain that it's not just about can green card holders travel. It's about, because this person has a pending I-751, right? So she's a green card holder, but she has a pending case. It's not advisable, just like her attorney told her. And my second opinion was if you were my client, we're not even going to be discussing travel. You're not going anywhere with what you just went through. So it doesn't mean she's not a green card or no. It doesn't mean the case was not dismissed if it was dismissed. But and I told her yesterday, you're going to expect that USCIS most likely is going to send you an RFE to explain what transpired or to provide information regarding that case, because I had to do with one of my clients who was involved in living the same incident, and he was freaking out of his mind. He was convinced his 751 was going to be denied, but we got the RFE, which was expected, and responded to it, and as God will have it, he has his green card today. So yeah, so it's case by case. That's hello, Ghanaian wife. How's the little man doing? I have a DUI before my green card. The officer at the interview told me I'm good and granted me the green card, but now I'm afraid to travel with this administration. And I can understand. MTB 05. talk to the lawyer who helped you. If not, talk to a lawyer, but don't travel until you've spoken to one. Under the Biden administration, people with removal orders were going in and out with their green cards. Nobody even batted an eye. Some people didn't even know they had removal orders until they waited for citizenship. I mean, but now everything is fair game. Everything is fair game. So just be, yeah, just be wise. I didn't join the military. I'm working at Amazon. So what is I have extension green card here, but I'm not in the military. Cannot apply for citizen. If you qualify based on 3 years or 5 years, if your case has been pending, and can you help me? We hand you citizenship, but you're going to start with setting up a consultation first, and then we can discuss your case. Hi, Ellen Gill. How are you? You are in Ghana right now. I hope you're good. I must say it feels amazing traveling together as a family. I can imagine. I can only. Did you go with the young man? Did you take your son? Oh my goodness, that is Rose Hyde. Did you take your son with you? That is amazing. I have a friend who is getting remarried in Niger in August, around the time of my birthday, and she was like, "I need you to be there." I was like, "Do I love you enough to travel?" Should be tell. Do I love you enough to travel all the way down? Let me think about that. Maybe I can find a man along the way. Who knows? No, I won't travel to Nigeria to meet nobody. You are going to have to come meet me here. I'm glad you guys were able to travel as a family. That feels so good. Hello, Blue Trillions. It's been a minute. It's so good to see you again. Thanks for all you do for our community. We thank God. We thank God. Should a person bring tax papers to N400 interview if it was not requested? I would just say take it with you. If you didn't submit it with your case, just take it with you. And we have of us. He has a sister on the. Y'all not even playing. Hey, Miss Nilechi, how are you? He has a sister on the way already. Can I say you've been busy? Well, congratulations, getting wife. Amazing, amazing. How old is he now? How old is your son? Well, congratulations. And listen, if you can have them back to back, even better. My sons are they're almost 6 years apart. You know how, Africans, Caribbeans, you know how if you have a child and 2 years after you don't have another one yet, village, and all those MFM people will come and say, bring anointing all for you and say, you got to do deliverance. Something must be wrong. Something has to be. He's 1.5 already. No, you just had a kid like yesterday. I was thinking you were going to say 6 months. He's 1.5. It's been a year and a half already. Are you sure? Really? Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I take that back. Yeah. Hello, Linus Turiel. And so I remember when I asked you, my oldest kid, he's going to be 21 in this. I can't believe I have an almost 21-year-old kid. Well, young adult. He's still a kid. But it be gone 21. 20. Hey, Lord, where did the time go? I was looking at him this evening. He has this really cute mustache. I was like, it been gone. I was like, I told you the other day, I was like, you tell people I'm your sister. He goes, no. No, I said I can pass for your sister. He goes, no, not with that gray hair. That's my child. I said the same thing to my oldest child. He just smiled. He is the diplomatic kid that he doesn't like to hurt. He's very direct, but he'd rather not say anything. But that 14-year-old called TJ. I'm not very question where if I go talk. If you ask him, he will tell you. He goes, no, not with that gray hair. Like, even try to be nice. No. This mother's child. So I remember when my oldest was 2, our family members was like, what's going on? She need prayer points. I know, because I need prayer points. No, there's something called family planning, especially when you're married to somebody that you're not sure you can have another child with. There was nothing wrong. When then it was 3 years and 4 years, they were like, what is going on? My mom was like, just trying to make sure. But yeah, so if you're gonna have them back to back, listen, they'll have partner, they'll have playmates. Because so that's it. So if you're planning kids, that's the only drawback to having spacing your kids, because then in they're, like for instance, TJ is going to 10th grade. My oldest is going to be a junior in college, so he would graduate college even before he graduates high school. So it's like they're not they really they close, but they don't have a whole lot in common because they're just in different age groups, which is fine. But yeah. Red is red fiercely. Thank you. That's one of my. It's a bold color for me. Red is just. It's like, it speaks to my personality. He's been here over 2 years. Wow, it's been over 2 years already. I remember when you were still waiting for him to come from Ghana and an embassy. We've been doing live shows for over 2 years, for real. Oh my God. Tia was like, "Mama, you're young, but calm down." Exactly. He was like, "No," and he keeps it straight. And like, "No, not with your gray hair." They just Nigerian by blood. Nothing Nigerian about him when it comes to his mouth, because he's just very American, very direct, very brash. Okomasoni. Not like me having to in college at the same time. Oh wow. So I guess that's another blessing. That one is going to be done with college before we start. But then again, for instance, TJ is not driving. So, and I thank God for Esther. So when he's on summer break, I'm like, I got someone to help me. But then, I pay him to take his brother around. But TJ doesn't start driving until next year. And I'm like, that's him. You have your kids close in age. For almost 4 years. Are you serious, Mr. Sanctuary? Oh, wow. Then God knows how many videos I've done. How many shows I've done. Oh, wow. We thank God. Okay. Congratulations, Ghanaian wife. Which college? Yeah. Okay. In Mississippi. Okay. So let me go back to Facebook. We still have some time. Does your case go to immigration court once it's denied with USCIS based on marriage? What are the chances of winning? Let me start with your second part of your question. I can't tell you what the chances of your winning are, because even for solid cases, I don't give chances because everyone's case is different. I can never guarantee anything. I'm telling you, I was trying to get some time off next week, but I have it it's crazy. But anyway, thank God. So I can, but as far as whether or not your case will go to immigration court if it's denied by USCIS, they actually even just put something up on their website, on their platform with USCIS, saying that if we deny your case, we're going to issue a notice to appear in immigration court. So they're trying to get as many people to immigration court. They've been going around, or if you go on their platforms, they have like we've referred 26,000 people. So in the last 4 months, immigration court. So that's their badge of honor right now. So it would not be surprising if after your case is denied, you're referred to immigration court. Foreign trained lawyer from Africa. Hey, Nelly. Currently preparing for the New York bar exam, and I would love it if you could mentor me as I navigate this next step in my legal career. I wish I had the time, but I don't, to be honest with you. I'm also barred in New York. I'll tell you that it's not as tough as California and Florida. It's doable. You can do it. Don't let anyone tell you because you're foreign trained that you can, because when I was sitting for my first bar, someone told me, and by someone I mean the person I was living with, told me that I don't think you can pass this on the first try. But we thank God that I passed both bar exams on the first try because of God's favor and His grace. But sit down, study like there's no tomorrow. If you don't have kids or any distraction, God bless you, because I had 2 little kids. But if I can do it with 2 little kids, anyone can. But I wish I had the time to mentor anyone. I don't. But I know you would do well. So just focus on. So I'm assuming you're taking the July bar exam. Just know that within your be confident and convinced that you are capable of sitting for the bar and passing it the first time. Give it everything you've got, because you're determined to do it one time and be done with it, it is a huge privilege. It is just satisfying and truly gratifying when you get it done and you see that your name there. So you will be fine. Once you pass, not if, when you pass, we'll welcome you into the immigration world. And because there are many immigrants that need a whole lot more immigration attorneys. I wish I had the time, but I would be lying to you if I said that I had time to mentor. I mentored somebody, and he's still in my business all the time. So, but which is good. I'm glad I did. But yeah, but reach out and when you're done with the bar exam and when you pass, and because we know you're going to pass. Amen. Receive it, claim it, speak it into existence. Once you pass, and you want to do immigration, join AILA, American Immigration Attorneys, American Immigration Lawyers Association. Join Nerdy Immigration Lawyers on Facebook. Great resources. And hopefully I have some time then, if you're going into immigration, to be able to share, tricks and whatever it is with you at that point. So all the best. You will succeed, and you have succeeded. So shall it be. I must say she's an amazing child. Okay, so Ghanaian wife is. I called for a friend a couple weeks ago concerning about UK's. Do you do cases with the U visa? I do not. Where can we ask the question, here or elsewhere? Sheyo or say right here. Put your questions here. So that's where, if you call my office, you're going to have to pay to get your question answered. So put your question in the comment section right here. So okay, let's go. I'll go back to TikTok. Let's see. Almost 4 years. Wow. It's been the best and always looking forward. I started watching you in 2000. Mr. Nice Sanctuary, it's almost 4 years. So are you serious? Like, y'all just, it doesn't feel that way at all. And this is just really speaks to you. If you find something you love and do something you love, find a hobby and find a way to make money from. I don't know how that saying goes, but I think this speaks to that, because it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Now I've been practicing immigration law for almost 10 years. It's gonna be 10 years in October. But when COVID came around, most of us had to revamp our practice, and I'm glad it was a blessing with COVID, knowing that, okay, how do we shift things since we can't do in-person things and all that. So I thank God for that. So it doesn't feel like 10 years, to be honest with you. The only difference is my hair was black then. My hair was black when I started 10 years ago. It still has some black in it. You gotta look at the cup half full. So black, you can see, still has black in it. Ignore the gray in front. Citizenship is our next chapter. Amen. And he's almost there. Okay. All righty. Let's see. It's almost 4 years. Yes, it's almost 4 years. I started watching you when I was getting ready to remove my conditions from my green card. I did myself with your advice only. You don't know the blessing you are to us. Oh, y'all don't get, I don't like mushy stuff. Wow. Well, thank God. I can't even, I've lost count how many lives have been changed in the last 10 years, let alone 4 years. Because, 4 years, yeah, you see that, but it's been going on before. So, wow. Time goes by fast when you're having fun. It sure does. Okay. Alrighty. I renewed my 10-year green card in December. Still nothing got yet. How long? Oh, so you haven't renewed it. You filed to renew it. If you just filed in December, that's 6 months. You get a 4-year extension because it can take up to that. So you may even actually you may qualify for citizenship even before they approve the 10-year green card. So just be patient. Does getting the congressman help your expedite request for humanitarian reason? It can. Just depends on what your reason is. How long does motion to terminate take in New York City? I can't speculate to how long something's going to take in court. Okay. Can I change my case from one state to another because of work? You're not changing your case, but you can request to have your file. when you have, if you're not changing because of work, your where you work doesn't determine what USCI's office has jurisdiction over your case. What determines is your state of residence and where you are living. So if you're changing because of you're moving from one state to another because you're changing your physical address, update that information, and based on that, if they still schedule you for your previous state, then you can always request that they reschedule your interview based on the fact that you've now moved to another state. My case got dismissed last year, and I have an ICE check-in coming up. Do I need to go? I can't answer that question. Talk to the lawyer there who represented you, who knows about your case. Okay, let's see. I was charged with domestic violence, theft in the 3rd degree, assault in the 4th degree. Could that affect my N-400? Are you kidding me? Like, are you really asking me that question? Like, are you like, are you, if you're serious, are you really like, you already know the answer to that question, I'm sure. So if it's just a case where you're, so just to answer that, if they're still pending, that's probably going to delay your N-400. So if you haven't filed, the best thing you can do is not to file anything right now. Let those cases be resolved first. Because if they're not resolved, USCIS is not going to approve you for citizenship when you've got pending charges, especially one that involves that at least 2 of that will probably fall within aggravated felony, at the very least crime involving moral turpitude, good moral character. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see. Change 9:28. Okay, we're almost out of time. Can AP holders without any form of crime still travel and return safely? Talk to your lawyer about travel. What pathway would you recommend for a 19-year-old who came out to no criminal record in uni? So the pathway would be to discuss your options with an attorney. Okay. A government marriage-based green card interview before work authorization is approved. Is this normal? It's not. There's nothing abnormal with USCIS, but does it happen? Yes, I've got quite a handful of cases where we actually got the green card approved, and we never got a work authorization because the green card was scheduled the interview was scheduled rather quickly and it was approved. So that's what you want at the end of the day. So if you can get a green card rather than a work permit, why not? Okay. All right. My brother is a U.S. citizen that checked his phone coming back to the States. They held him for an hour. It's not unheard of. Yeah, it's not unheard of. So here you have it, people. So okay, let's see. Okay, so that's about all that we can take tonight. Advice for I-130 and I-45 interview coming, what to expect. If you go on our page on Instagram, Betty, if you go on our page on Instagram, in the bio, there's a link to sample questions for marriage-based cases. That will be very helpful in preparing for your upcoming interview. All right, people. So yes, there's a whole lot going on. We know that. That's okay. It doesn't stop, whatever is going on around us doesn't stop God's favor, and it doesn't stop God's plan for our lives. This administration has come,
it too shall pass. Even as it passes, God's favor and grace continues. It survives any administration, whatever the case may be. So, you know, if you hear me say nothing at all in all of these meetings that we come together, and every Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever the inspirational post that we hear me loud and clear when I say this. Whatever you do not allow fear to control your life. You may say, as it's like, she been yeah, but I've been in those shoes before. May not be being a crazy administration where everyone is living in fear and all that, but the anxiety that comes with not knowing when you're going to get your papers, if you're ever going to get your papers. But the one thing that will keep you going, regardless of what may be going on around you, is knowing that your faith is firmly rooted in God. And if He has brought you this mighty long way, He is going to complete that which He has started in you. So if you are surrounded, there's a lady I met with on Monday, and this woman was weeping and bawling and crying her eyes out. At the time consultation ended, you could see the relief in her eyes, not because there's anything I did special, but because she said one thing. She said, "I've been around people that almost every single day, nobody has anything positive to say to me. It's about you've got to make sure they can put you in removal proceeding, they can take your car, they can do this." She said, "You're the first person in a long time to tell me to just keep praying and trusting that in spite of what's going on, it is still in the hands of God." And if the people, and not if, the people at USCIS, Immigration Courts, ICE, they are all people that exist because of the breath of God. So there's none of them that's going to take any action that's going to contradict or undo what God has planned for us. So if you're surrounded by people who have nothing positive to say, it's time for you to make a new circle of friends. So one thing you can do for yourself is, if you hear nothing else, but do not let fear creep, because fear will cripple you and steal you and rob you of your joy and your destiny. Let faith triumph over fear, and know that God still remains God, and He remains in control. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next